new report out today from the National Watchdog Group.
This extensive report was put together by a national independent nonprofit research group.
A study released today claims that the condition of our roads will stunt the state's economic recovery.
The study was performed by an organization called TRIP, the Transportation Research Infrastructure Program based in Washington, D.C. The program touts hundreds of studies in all 50 states.
The 2014 data released by TRIP, a transportation research group, is hoping to inform voters of the impact roads are having throughout the state.
Those conclusions from TRIP, a national transportation research organization based in Washington, D.C.
Transportation issues are at the top of the governor's mind right now. So is new research that shows just how bad our roads and gridlock can become.
A new report unveiled by a national transportation research group, TRIP.
A new report shows funds will be dropping off at the federal level, and there is no long-term plan in place.
Projects could be headed for a big bump in the road. That's what a new report by a National Transportation Research Group shows.
And a report released today by a National Transportation Research Group known as TRIP highlighted just how much is at stake.
We released this report to draw attention to the cost to motorists of having an inadequate road, bridge, and transit system in the state of Connecticut.
With this report, TRIP is pushing for increased investment in transportation improvements at the local, state, and federal level. Wilkins was joined by state officials Tuesday in support of a long-term federal transportation bill.
The numbers are daunting. They are an indictment of the underinvestment that we have made in this area, and frankly that we have not made nationally for way too long. But these numbers, of course, are something that those of us who spend time in this area feel.
Well, it's one of the top issues that you really care about. And now there's a new report saying South Carolina's crumbling roads cost you more than $1,000 a year.
And it could mean less money and jobs coming into the state. From Greenville to Spartanburg to Anderson, National Transportation Group TRIP shows you the breakdown in extra vehicle costs, safety, and congestion.
Bumpy roads don't only hit your wallet. Last year, major companies like Bass Pro Shops and Torrey announced plans to come to the upstate. But Alan Smith with the Spartanburg Chamber of Commerce says if our roads don't improve, we might not see that trend continue.
That word will get out soon, and it could undermine and affect future economic development.
Sky News 6 HD is giving us the clearest pictures yet of Oklahoma's improving roadways. A national group that's often been critical of our state's transportation system is now crediting Oklahoma for reversing a decades-long trend of deteriorating roads and bridges. In fact, this new report says the state has cut in half the number of structurally deficient bridges. And while we have come a long way in the past decade, that report also points out there is still plenty of work ahead of us and a lot of potential roadblocks.
You know, those potential roadblocks will certainly come if the federal government cuts some $600 million of funding for Oklahoma roads. The director of ODOT says TRIP's report, this analysis certainly provides a good guide, a good guideline, he says. Increased transportation funding from the 2005 legislative session has paid off.
Improvements that the state is making now to the roadway will go a long way towards making it safer, and like I said, making sure that if a driver does make a mistake on the roadway, that they don't pay for that mistake with their life.
TRIP, an independent transportation research group, says Oklahoma's overhaul has greatly improved driver safety. Yet ODOT's federal funding may be slashed by some $625 million by October.